Some case studies. I've already spoken about that, the origins of thought field therapy and the application to hydrophobia. My case study for qualification at level 2 as an EFT therapist, I asked a friend of mine to be a guinea pig because he was suffering from chronic upper back pain, shoulder pain and neck pain. So I'm just giving you a little taste of my own experience in the field. We spent 3 one-hour sessions together, and the pain disappeared completely. What we dealt with in those sessions was only emotional memories. Particularly in his case, repressed frustration from being bullied when he was small, from being victimized by his nanny when he was 4 years old, etc., etc. One of a variety of autoimmune disorders. A client came to see me with that condition, a woman in her mid-30s, really quite a disturbing experience, and the symptoms that she was suffering from for a solid 3 years. Chronic rheumatic pains in her joints and fatigue syndrome, no energy. Those are the main symptoms. And she was seriously overweight, on cortisone all the time, to try and suppress the body's response to the condition. And she was really suffering. In 3 sessions with me using EFT, the condition had almost completely disappeared. And she came to me for 1 session, and she went in 1 further session, a 4th session, and she went into complete, I'm talking about 100% remission of all her symptoms, according to her, for 6 weeks. She didn't feel any pain. Her energy levels were as normal. She was as happy as a skylark. All I can say is that what we dealt with in the sessions were really deep-rooted emotional issues. I don't want to divulge too much information for confidentiality, but she was hospitalized as a young infant, and really very lousy traumatic experiences of being left alone in hospital. So one can speculate, but all I know is that the methodology that I use, the combination of energy and cognition, precipitated, or shall I say evoked, those memories, which suggests to me that they were key in the condition. And when dealing with those issues, I found that the symptoms were, in the middle of a session, she suddenly was reporting that her pain levels were subsiding. That was enough evidence for me that I was doing something right and that the method is based on truth. PTSD, a remarkable experience that I had, when was it now, 18 months ago, with somebody who was in the Angolan border war as a young 20-something-year-old. He was in the medical corps and suffered a horrendously traumatic experience being called to intervene in a terrorist bomb attack in a bank. Women and children, bodies and blood all over the place. He couldn't describe it to me. When we started the session, I said, please stop this description. I won't mention his name. Stop this description. This is not about remembering painful memories. The methodology allows for a very gradual, relatively painless process. It took an hour and a half, and 25 years of panic attacks, of chronic anxiety, of insomnia, and of brutal psychiatric medication with all sorts of side effects. 1.5 hour session, and it has gone. It has not come back. 1.5 years ago. 1 single session. The energy psychology method is particularly fantastically effective for trauma, for PTSD. I've helped people with fears and phobias. A woman came to see me with a fear of flying. This was something that developed later in life, which I think is fairly unusual, but she was absolutely terrified to get on an aeroplane. After 4 sessions, she completely lost her fear. She emailed me from overseas to thank me. She'd landed safely, and she said it was an absolute breeze. Tobacco addiction. I'm just giving some very spurious and random examples of conditions of people that I've helped. A woman came to see me, this one example here, with a serious tobacco addiction. She'd been smoking, a woman of 50 years old. She'd been smoking since she was 15. A rebellious teenager growing up in very conservative Catholic Italy. And what she found was that she had enough willpower to stop smoking. 2 years she had been completely clean of tobacco. Why did she come to see me? Because she was going crazy with the craving that had not left her. It took 2 sessions to access and release childhood emotional issues, and to this day she has not had any of those cravings. This took place, if memory serves me, about 8 or 10 months ago. 2 sessions. Healing is, I want to suggest, the transformation of consciousness. Thank you for being here and for listening.